Hey guys, welcome to the new episode. Today we have Bobby Nastase and he is from Ubiquity. Yes, and Bobby has excellent career experience in RPA. But what makes him unique is that he's actually saved millions for his company by working for automation. And that is going to be the limelight for our video today. So welcome to the show, Bobby.
Thanks very much, Kaliani. Thanks for inviting me.
Yes. And like before we deep dive into what you do currently, we would love to hear the story that how has your automation helped your company save like so much money?
Yeah, of course. So just a bit of an introduction. So I started using automation and RPA about 6 years ago. So since then, I've been working for big companies and help them save uh, millions of dollars or pounds or whatever. So yeah, I think I've automated probably or just put my hand into solution architecting them for more than 100 processes. So that's why where that number came from. I sat and I tried to get every process that I looked at or automated and add everything together. And I think I just said conservatively $1 million, but I think it was more than that. Yeah.
That's like an interesting story. Like I know that automation has saved millions, but today we are seeing it like, from the horse's mouth. So excellent stuff, Bobby. As you know that the UiPath nominations are MVP campaign nominations are going to start again. So why don't you tell me what did you do differently to stand out as UiPath MVP 2022? And if you want to discuss about the process, the screening process that the campaign goes through, that would be great as well.
Yeah, of course. So in terms of what I did differently with what I usually do, so I started doing some LinkedIn demos, and I think that's how it all started. And I got onto UiPath's radar, and not only UiPath's radar, but I got the chance to collaborate with loads of people. So the way, well, I would say the different thing that I did is just put myself out there with videos and just discussing about the products and how they can be used a bit in the unconventional way, if you want, not necessarily for software automation, but I did a demo for with a talking plant. I don't know if you ever saw that one. I did another one with an electricity meter, just reading as an analog electricity meter and submitting it to the company. So yeah, that's kind of like what I think I did differently in order to get onto UiPath's radar. But just to touch a bit upon the screening process and how I got to the actual process of interviewing. So through those demos that I made a friend called Dan Fishkin. He's from the US, and he basically was the MVP for the previous year, and he recommended me to UiPath as an MVP through all the work that I did for with him. So from there on, I got a message from, well, I got a form and I completed it and submitted it to UiPath. They came back to me, and I was put for an interview. So in terms of the screening, I think there were a few hundred people, which yeah, we eventually got into an interview, a group interview, and yeah, just took it from there, I guess.
Oh, wow, that seems interesting. If I happen to ask you that during the screening process, is there any step or you would say that any modification or recommendation you would like to give for the current way the screening is done? Or would you love to appreciate, a task or the process that's there in the interview?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Vibor and Christina and all the team on the community side were amazing, and they definitely did a great job into the whole interview process. Probably what I would say, I found it a bit difficult when we did the first interview, which was a group interview. I never done that before, so just being together with a lot of other people and just answering the questions on the spot, it made me a bit nervous, and I think it did for everyone else. But yeah, I would say other than that, probably I would change it because I was in that position. But I think it's very difficult to screen so many people with just a few people in the community. So yeah, that's kind of it.
Absolutely. That's so true. Like, I think the UiPath MVP is such an important program that is running on and everybody likes to be part of it. So definitely the screening has to be stronger. I hear you, but so, while we are talking so much about being an MVP, do you think there is a difference after you become an MVP? Like it opens a channel of network for you or, floods you with opportunities? Like what is the importance and does it really bring any change in your life?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, look at us now. I'm having this interview with you. Probably I wouldn't have had this interview if I wasn't an MVP. And there's definitely many people that I met after I become the MVP. And we discuss ideas, and it. I would say it is life changing in a way, because yeah, when you hear so many people and you exchange ideas, it can stem a difference in your life. But I would say in my day-to-day life and in my work life with Robiquity, it has had an important. I got some notoriety with the clients as well, and being presented as a UiPath MVP. I think it definitely helps in the discussion with clients.
No, that's excellent, excellent. And while you are talking about that right now, you are a solution architect. In fact, you've been a solution architect for pretty long. So, which is the UiPath product that you have been, working extensively on, and what are your tricks and treats around that particular product?
Yeah, well, so I think as just like everyone else who started with UiPath, I started with UiPath Studio, and I was originally a developer when I started back in 2016, and it's still the product that I like the most from the whole suite. But now everything is coming up, and I would say probably from the latest ones that are coming out, UiPath Studio Web, I think it's a great idea. It's a great contender for Microsoft as well. Data manager, again, it's a bit underlooked currently, but I think it'll be very important in the coming years. um, Process mining, task mining, I got the chance to work with those products as well, and I think they're great. AI Center, again, I can tell you a bit about every product, but yeah, I would say Studio is still in my heart. There is a lot of things you need to, well, it's very simple at start, but there's loads of things, small things that you have to understand. So I think that the journey of learning never ends with the UiPath product.
That is so true that the learning journey never ends. So that brings me to my next question. That as you know that the product is going so fast and it's growing so fast and it has like the roadmap is changing. And every day or rather I would say at a frequent interval, we are seeing a lot of changes being introduced. So how do you keep up yourself with, I know you are a solution architect, but what are your favorite go-to websites? And how do you keep yourself updated with all these latest changes?
Yeah, that is true. Things are definitely changing all the time with the UiPath products, and even the core products, they get so many new features. And I think talking with many experts in the that work with UiPath, I think that's one of the biggest. It's one of the best things and one of the worst things as well, because you on the best things, obviously you get all this new technology and then you can apply it. The other side is that you have to upskill yourself and keep track of all of them. In terms of how I do it, I am learning by doing generally. So when a new product is coming up, I am taking an hour of my time just studying that product, trying to do like a small demo, see how it works. And yeah, I think that's my go-to on top of the usual documentation that comes up with the product, and probably the courses on the academy.uipath.com, which are really good.
That's interesting. So, before we sign off, one last question for the day. That what is your go-to success mantra? Like for me, when I talk to people, I say communication is the key. Where like, I believe in transparent communication and that brings along great results. So what is your success mantra that you would like for, to tell us?
Yeah, probably. I think there's many that I can think about, but one of the like the core ones that I have is hard work forever pays. So definitely put in the hard work. As I said earlier, another one is just think outside the box, be bold, don't be afraid to go out and just talk to people, just put yourself out there. LinkedIn is a great networking tool for everyone that's working in this domain. So yeah, just keep on grinding, I guess.
That's excellent. And once again, thank you so much, Bobby, for making sure that you come for our interview and give such insightful answers.
Thanks, Kalyan. Thanks for inviting me. It was great. Thank you.